remember a time when your child was a very big ball of emotions and you didn't know what to do with all these emotions? Like when your toddler was having a tantrum and screaming in the supermarket because you said no to getting a chocolate, or when your teenager was super angry because her shirt was not clean, or when your 9 years old was crying because he was scared of something that for you didn't make so much sense. Sometimes our children having big emotions is very challenging for us for so many reasons. Sometimes these feelings triggers things in us that we don't know how to deal with. Maybe we are having challenges with our own fears or anger. Sometimes we're uncomfortable sitting around these feelings, especially if we didn't learn how to deal with them. So being around a child who's crying non-stop or screaming, sometimes we're ashamed from what others would say, what other parents would think of us having a child who's screaming in public. Sometimes we just don't know what to do, what's the right thing to do, how am I supposed to help them with what's happening. So let's focus about our children's big and difficult emotions today and how we are supposed to deal with them and what's needed from us at this time. So let's start by reminding ourselves that emotions are signals. It's our body telling us messages that we need to deal with something. So there are no such thing as good and bad emotions. There is no such thing as right and wrong emotions. There's no way that we can say that we're supposed to be feeling this way. I know that we use this language all the time, like we ourselves, we say sometimes, I'm not supposed to be upset about something they did, or we say things like, I'm supposed to be so happy, everything is going so right in my life. But the fact is, we don't really get to choose how we feel. We get to choose how we respond to this feeling. But a very important part of this response is to start by accepting and understanding what I'm actually feeling. And this is the very first step in helping our children understand their own emotions and have emotional intelligence, which is now becoming a very important part of success in life. For the past like 6 or 7 decades ago, everyone was focusing so much on IQ and how intelligent people are, and they started doing IQ tests and they thought that this is the most important thing. But as time went by, they started getting a bit confused when they find someone with a very high IQ, but they are not as successful in life as they would expect them to be. So a few decades ago, people started talking about how important IQ is and how important is it to be smart, and they started doing IQ tests. And then after a while, they found out that this is not the only important thing, and sometimes people with very high IQ levels are not successful in life. So they started wondering why. And then the idea of emotional intelligence started to become more popular, and they started to think, well, if I don't understand my own emotions, I'm going to struggle in life a lot. It's going to affect my happiness and my success in life. If I don't understand the emotions of others and how to deal with them, I'm never going to have a successful relationship, whether in my professional or personal life. So having emotional intelligence has become something very important and a big part of our life, and we have a very big role and strong role in helping our children learn emotional intelligence. So our first role is to actually help them understand what they're going through. What are the different feelings? Are they happy? Are they upset? Sometimes we just talk about feeling good and feeling bad, while there are so many wide range of emotions. So being upset might need a different response than being disappointed, then frustrated, then jealous, then not feeling good about myself, then angry. So just like we try to help children learn the names of everything, like we teach them how to say book or cup or cat or dog, we also need to help them learn to label their emotions, to put a name on how I am feeling, because sometimes just saying out loud how I am feeling helps me feel much better. And if I don't know how to express my feelings in a healthy way, they would come out in an unhealthy way. So they might come out as behavior, as acting out, as being angry or upset all the time, trying to resist everything you're saying, how we feel affects directly how we act. So if we're not aware of how we're feeling and we work on expressing it, it will affect our behavior and our relationships and our personal satisfaction in general. So what's our role when my child is having this big wave of emotions? What's expected from me? What do they need right now? They need to feel that, first of all, I understand what they're going through. Usually when we see our children feeling bad in any way, us as parents, we don't want our children to feel bad. We want them to feel good all the time, which is not realistic or cannot happen. Life is full of all ranges of emotions. We will be happy at times, we will be sad at times, we will be angry at times, frustrated, disappointed, worried, scared, and all these emotions are natural and normal. God has created us feeling all these kind of emotions. So my role is not to make them not feel these emotions, but my role is to help them learn to deal with them, to accept them and deal with them. So when my child is scared, sometimes an automatic reaction would be, there's nothing to be scared of. You shouldn't be that angry, you shouldn't be that upset. But the fact is they're actually feeling this way and they cannot change it at the moment unless you help me through that. So the first step is to actually help them understand what they're going through. So if they're just complaining about how their brother or sister took something from them without asking and they got angry and they hit them or did something out of anger, rather than just jumping to focusing on the behavior that happened at the end, we need to help them understand what brought them here, because there will be other things in life that is going to make them angry again. So we need to differentiate between how they felt and how they acted. How they felt was accepted and we understand it. And we need to tell them that, oh, so you were angry because your sibling took something without asking you. I understand this. If someone took something from me that I don't want to give them or without asking, I'd be angry too. So they need to learn that they were angry and this is why they acted this way. When they are calm and if we try to talk logic at this time, they're not going to be listening. I'm sure many of you tried talking to logic and the rationality to their children when they were scared or when they were having a tantrum or when they were angry or emotional. And it feels like they're not listening to us, which is true, because at this time, the part in the brain that is responsible for reasoning and logic is not working properly. It's not in its best state. We need to help them comfort themselves and calm down and then say all these important things. The timing in which we give advice, in which we help them solve the problems is very important. So at this time, I just need to listen to what they have to say. I need to help them learn that I understand and that I empathize with them on how they're feeling. I want to make them feel understood because this calms them down. After they have calmed down, it's a very good opportunity for me to ask them, what do you think could have been different? How would you act again if your sibling did this? If they have already calmed down, most probably they will have very amazing answers because their brain is back to functioning with its full capacity, not like when they were actually angry. So my role at this time is to just acknowledge how they're feeling, to be there to support. I'm right here till you feel that you're ready to talk. I understand that you're angry. I do not accept that you talk to me in an unacceptable way or hit your brother, but I understand how you're feeling. I'm right here for you to think with you when you're ready how we can learn from this. So accepting and acknowledging the feelings and naming them out help the child express their own feelings, and by time they would also be able to understand the feelings of others as well, and learn from us how to deal with these feelings and how to empathize with others, which is very important for the quality of their relationships in life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.